Howdy, folks.
Hello.
Or should we say, how do you do? Because
Yes.
we've been watching The Crown.
Part 2.
It is going to be, quite released
Yeah.
at this point.
But maybe you haven't watched it yet.
maybe you haven't watched it.
You
That's
know
right.
what's funny? I don't really see a whole lot of talk on the internet about people watching The Crown.
You know? That's
I'm
so
like,
true.
Like, is it just us and older people?
I think it was like such a big deal a while back.
It was at first.
But now it
But then
doesn't
I think
feel like there's
people
any stir.
fell off.
Mhm.
Because I even know people who started it and then they haven't continued. They're like, oh, yeah, I stopped after season 1 or something.
Exactly. They're like, I stopped after Claire Foy.
Yeah, we're the faithful followers.
We are, apparently.
But who else? Maybe that's
I
why
don't
this is the last
know.
season.
Yeah,
But they
that's
were
wild.
running out of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, they were going to get really recent.
yeah.
And they already kind of are.
Yeah.
So we are, the last season came out in 2 parts. So we just finished. Oh, we watched 5 of them?
yeah, we have 2 more. No, sorry. We have
1 more.
after this one.
This says season 6. Oh, episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw season 6 and I thought we were on episode
No,
6.
no.
Okay, I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've watched 4. We have 2 more to go.
So,
It's been slower.
yeah, it has. I did enjoy
It's okay though.
the last one with William.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
they
yeah,
had to give
'cause
us
it's
this
like-
one.
It's like, drumming up a lot of anticipation for what's to come
Yeah.
with him and Kate and stuff.
Exactly.
I live for
So,
that last scene where she texts him.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, very exciting.
So, I'm hoping the next 1 or 2 will be like that.
We have to get through them like dating in college, I think,
Yeah.
and then Charles and Camilla getting married.
Yep. I bet that's the final one.
I wonder how they end it.
Probably with that wedding, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I am curious because you gotta
Yeah.
leave us on a high note
Yeah.
and a bang.
Yeah. This last episode was a little bit of a downer. It was okay, but it was a little bit of a downer.
Yeah. It was a downer.
It was cute though, like with the flashbacks.
Yeah.
They
They
did
were-
flashbacks to before Claire Foy's time.
They were adorable little girls.
They were really cute.
I mean, they were 20s probably, but
Yeah, teens or 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were cute.
very.
They really looked like they're younger.
First actors.
Yes.
Yes.
Which was crazy. I don't know how they did that. Even Margaret's jawline.
I know.
I was like, that looks just like the other one.
Yeah, looked a lot like her.
Crazy. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what we have to look forward to in the next 2 episodes.
Right.
But after this, we're going to continue.
Yeah. We got to stick with it.
Took a little break
Do
to
you want to talk
pod.
about what we did yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Yes.
So it's been a while now since we.
Yeah.
Well, one, it's
When
been a
you
while
hear
since we
this.
recorded the 100th episode.
True.
Second of all, it's been a little minute or 2 since it actually was the day that we released it, but
Yeah.
that day for us was yesterday. And Kelly's mom
Yeah.
wanted to treat us to something. It was our choice, I guess.
Yeah.
And within seconds, we were like, let's go get massages.
Yes. Shout out to Peter. Who
Yeah.
had the idea.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even thinking that.
He's like, why don't you go to Foot Reflexology? We
I
were
was
like,
heck yes.
we should go today.
Yes. Because I've
So-
been wanting to.
Mm-hmm.
I've been craving and oh, I just
Yeah.
want a massage.
Yeah.
And so that was a perfect opportunity.
Let me tell you, I needed it.
Oh,
Apparently
so much.
so badly.
Yes. And it's embarrassing to admit, but I woke up snoring a couple times.
I think I heard you.
I was like,
It was very faint, like a very soft snore.
I think it was one of those at the end, and then you wake yourself
that.
up from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've been stopped up too.
Yeah, that'll do
so
it.
I think that didn't help.
I
but
was
then-
in this, kind of trancy state
Yeah.
where I was like, I'm thinking thoughts, but they're not quite lucid.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing for me. That's why I didn't think I was in such a deep sleep because I was
Yeah.
still thinking.
Yeah.
And I knew what was going on. I never felt like I didn't know
Right.
what was going on.
Yeah.
But then I would hear myself wake up to a snore and I was like, I
I was
must have been
definitely
out.
fully awake for all the arms and neck and
Yeah.
all that. But then when they get to the legs,
That's
I'm
when
just
you're
like,
just like, I'm
"Ooh."
out of here.
start going down.
Exactly. But it
Mhm.
was amazing and felt so
It
good.
was so
I
good.
never want it to end. I'm always
No.
like, no.
You know, they sell like 90-minute foot massages
Whoa.
and 2-hour ones, I think.
Maybe
Yeah.
one day. I thought about that. I was like, do they do longer? Or like,
do.
what if someone got back to back, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Because they're like, I don't want this to be fast.
Right. They'd have to, I feel like they'd have to like switch out the workers. 'cause
Honestly,
they
that's what
need
I
a
was thinking
break.
too. Because they could.
Yeah.
If you did two, 60-minute ones,
Mhm.
you would just switch out to a new person.
Honestly, you'd never know the difference.
No. And all would be happy.
Yeah.
You'd be happy, they'd be happy, it'd be great.
Yeah.
So,
We're big believers in massage. It really
Yeah.
does wonders.
it really does. It really relaxes
It's
you.
really great.
I think they were pressing like all my tension spots. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, they know. They feel it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she needed it.
Yeah. She was really getting after my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Because they said they could only do light to medium because I was pregnant.
But that's on
I
your legs.
felt deep.
I was going to say that's on your legs and your feet because
Okay.
they don't want to send you into labor. But I think up top it's like fair game.
Interesting. Weird that the legs would do it.
It's apparently your feet, I think.
Good to know when it's time. I'll just go over
Yeah.
there and be like, give me
Because
deep.
Abby went and got a pedicure and they're like, we are not allowed to massage your feet. And she's like, that's why I gained.
Yeah, exactly. Please do. I want to go in labor.
Yeah. Well, she was like, I just wanted my feet rubbed,
Oh,
you know?
that's sad.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. I'd be like, get after it.
Please.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm at the time. I can do it.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You got to be careful, but at the right time, it's like, yeah, let's see what
Go
happens.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just
Mhm.
take it out.
I walked in yesterday slightly before you, and the girl at the counter was like, I was like, I'm here for a 60-minute foot massage. And she was like, you're the friend. And I was like, yes, I am.
That's
She said, "You're
hilarious.
Kelly's friend. And then she motioned like with her hand like a big belly. And I was like, yeah, she's pregnant, but she doesn't look like that.
Yeah. Like, she's not there yet.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Let me tell you something. There is something as pregnant privilege.
Mhm.
People treat you
Tell me about it.
like a queen.
Really?
They just want to, and you're like, I'm fine.
Where do you
Please.
like? Yeah. where do
Everyday
you-
life, everything. If they know.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I'm not like super showing. So people in the world
Okay.
that don't know me don't know yet. But people that I do know, they're just like, take my seat.
Yeah.
You know, if you need anything to eat, like,
Yeah.
I'll go pick it up for you. Like, literally.
I scrubbed your shirt today.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you like, I'm not at the point where I can't do anything, you know? And so then at the place, she's like,
Yeah.
do you need to go to the bathroom?
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm good. I had
Yeah.
gone before. Like, you think
Yeah.
I don't know my bladder?
Right.
And she's like, are you sure? And you're
Yeah.
like, I do.
Yeah. And then she
I'm
was like,
thank goodness.
do you want the male or the female?
And I'm like, I
She asked
don't-
you 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm good with
I don't
whatever.
like either. And then whenever I went to get up, he like hurried and like helped me up.
Oh, cute. Aw, he must like doing the pregnant lady.
Yes, but I was just
He
like,
must have
this
insisted.
is
He'll be
hilarious.
like,
Like,
you know.
they really think, like you can't do anything. I don't know.
Wow.
People in general, they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
there are points where I'm like, I don't want to take advantage because I'm good, you know? I'm
Okay.
feeling pretty
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, take advantage.
No,
honestly.
yeah. I will. I
Sounds-
think
sounds
I take
great.
advantage of Matthew's generosity.
You're like, can you go up the stairs for
Can you
me?
please get this for
Yeah.
me? Can you fill my water?
Uh-huh.
Do that
yeah.
anyway, but
Heck
You
yeah.
know.
I know. I do.
so
I made
It's
an
funny.
observation the other day. I said to Peter, whenever we like want something, like if I want coffee, I'll be like, how about coffee? Like, does coffee sound good? I suggest that we drink it.
Yeah.
But when I say that, I'm asking him to make it. And then he'll be like, how about some tea? What he's saying is, please make me a tea.
yeah.
So I was laughing about that because
It's
when
funny.
either one of us want something,
Yeah.
we're kind of like offering it in hopes that the other person's like, yes,
I'll make it for you.
let me get it for you.
That is hilarious because I would not think that would be the way to get someone to do it for me. And be like, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, you're going to make
It's
it?
learned behavior.
Hey, but whatever works.
Yeah. I just identified it the other day. I was like, you know what I think we do?
Yeah.
We expect the other person to make it for us whenever we suggest something.
That's too funny.
I'll be like, are we ready for, I don't know, egg bites
Yeah.
or something?
I'll be
I'm
like,
asking him to go microwave them.
I'm like, I really want blah, blah, blah right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, good times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We also watched the Monk movie. I can't remember. We can't remember if we've talked about this already. I don't think we have.
Yeah, maybe not. Because
Maybe we did.
I don't know. Because I do remember talking to you in your kitchen about it.
Right.
But it was not while recording.
No.
So that makes me think we didn't end up talking about it.
I don't think we did.
So let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. What did you think?
So actually, yeah, I enjoyed it. Thought it was, Monk-esque.
Mm-hmm.
There was some sadness to it,
Definitely.
especially on the
heavier.
part. What'd you say?
It was heavier.
Oh, I thought you said my mic went out.
No. You're hearing things through a trauma lens.
I'm triggered. Yeah, on the Monk side.
Just says nothing that sounds like that. You're
I
like,
know.
my mic went out.
I'm like trying to stay as still as possible. Oh, I'm gonna have mic trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, because usually you feel sorry for Monk, but there's also a lighthearted quirkiness to him that
Yeah.
you're like, that's just his personality, it's just his life.
Right.
He's fine with it. We're all fine with it.
Yeah.
This was a little bit darker, where you're like, oh,
Yeah, he's not
he's
okay.
not doing well. So
Yeah.
that was, sadder.
Right.
But, and honestly, because of that, I feel like there was less of the mystery side because they were dealing with that part.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, especially for a reboot movie,
Yeah.
I felt like it was good because those can really
Exactly.
crash and burn.
No, they can get so bad, and they try to
Yeah.
do stuff so differently.
Exactly. And
They
you're just
didn't really
no.
try too many different things.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to make it too overly 2023.
Yes, exactly.
They weren't trying to bring in messaging or
Yeah.
maybe little
Yeah,
tiny
but kinda in a funny
tiny
way.
bits.
Yeah.
But not, I don't know. You just usually see a movie in 2023 and you're like, oh, okay, there are all the tribute characters
Right.
and the storyline part that,
Exactly.
just needed to get thrown in there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really like that.
No. And I also enjoyed that they brought all the characters back
Yeah.
that you know and love. And it, because, there could have been where they made an excuse for one of them and
Right.
they weren't there for whatever reason.
Right. Well, the ones that weren't there, let's just say the ones that weren't there, they still gave them they send their love and they were doing the most epic, wonderful thing.
Yes, exactly.
You kind of got the sense that they were just in a really good place in life, which made you happy.
Right. So overall, it was great. And who knows? I don't know. I felt like, and you even said this, there could potentially be more on the horizon. I mean, they did this with Psych. I think they've made a couple movies at this point.
Oh, really?
So this could be the first of a couple movies.
Yeah, I was saying because Tony Shalhoub, he just finished Mrs. Maisel, I think. So I think he's free.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
free for a 70-year-old.
Right.
But free.
Yeah.
So he might,
I'm glad to hear that he was doing something. I didn't realize he was doing that.
Oh my gosh. I made a little video, with you guys. And I just mentioned at the last part, I was like, we, made hot chocolate, drove around and looked at Christmas lights, came back and watched a comfort movie. And for us, it was Monk. I say it for 3 seconds. I got a fan page for Ted Levine, who plays Captain Stottlemyre. A fan page of his, an entire Instagram dedicated to photos of him
You're
and
kidding
fan art.
me.
I'm not even kidding.
The fact that he had that
Fan edits
is hilarious.
active today. Found my video and liked it. I was like, oh my gosh. Didn't
That
realize.
is crazy.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Also, I'm a little freaked out by the subliminal messages that we must have been given to watch Monk right before the movie came out.
Right?
That was weird. Like, can we just start, like, how is everybody into it now?
Well, I don't know. Mine wasn't a subliminal message. This is my massage lady.
Oh.
She's giving me a massage, and she was like, you would love Mr. Monk. Because I was telling her about Murder, She Wrote.
Okay. That's good.
Else,
so like, maybe she...
And she's talked about it...
Saw that the movie was coming.
Several times. Like, she's talked about it to me three or four occasions.
Okay.
Mr. Monk. Well,
that's good.
So...
Because it was really weird. Y'all had told us about it.
Yeah.
Then we turn on Prime, and it's right there.
That's crazy.
We were like, what?
It's definitely making a resurgence.
Yeah.
I think with streaming, like, some people just really get into shows.
Yeah. And it was on Peacock, too, right? Because that's where the movie was. So they probably, like, were promoting it because they were going to make the movie.
Right.
And I guess it has enough of a following that, you know, people wanted it.
It does.
So that was good. I'm glad for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of those other people have done anything else. Or, like, they're not doing anything currently.
No, it doesn't feel like it.
Even, like, Natalie, whose real name is Trailer. I'm sorry to tell you. Yeah.
Trailer?
It's like Taylor with an R.
Yeah, but Trailer, I've never... You know, I knew her name was Trailer, but I never associated with the other kind of trailer.
Yeah. I'm like, who picked that name? Her mother, and father.
Lordy.
But unfortunate. Because, like, it looks like Taylor. Like, when you go to look at it, you're like, oh, her name's Taylor with an R. Trailer. It's very strange. I'd love to know why, but...
and Sharona's name is Biddy.
Biddy. Okay.
Biddy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Biddy.
Hey, Biddy.
That's funny.
Don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, today we are hitting a fun topic.
Yeah.
What is the hardest part of marriage?
Whoa.
Ooh, just diving
Here
right
we go.
in. Yeah.
We're kind of like on the hunt to even like dive deeper into what that is and like what people mean when they, because we hear it, we feel like we hear it a good bit these days.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just wanted to dive deeper into it.
Yeah. I'm like, how fast do we want to get into this? I definitely feel like there are some things that I hear people talk about. Yeah. And they're like, marriage is hard. And then they give examples. And I'm always like, but the example you just gave wasn't marriage. It was your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's true really for anything. You can be having a hard time, but you associate it with a certain scenario. So you blame that scenario or, you know, that time or place in your life. Yeah. But really, it was just life. Yeah. That made it hard on you. Yeah. And again, how fast do we want to get into this? Exactly. You know? But it is true, like, because we were talking to Peter earlier, and he was saying, like, if you're not on the same page. And I think that is very true because there's a lot of things that maybe you're not on the same page with. Yeah. Maybe you didn't know or maybe you hadn't talked about it or whatever.
Oh, that'll definitely bring a conflict.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, how do we get on the same page about this? And some people I think maybe never get there. Yeah. Or like they don't compromise or they do get there. Yeah. So it's one of those three. And if you're not, it does cause that tension because you're like, you don't see my side of things and I don't see your side of things. Yeah. So how do we get to that place? Yeah.
I think overall, like, aside from life being hard and money being hard and maybe kids being hard or jobs being hard and having to deal with that, I think that if you don't have a great communication system,
that's always number one.
It is going to make things really hard.
Yeah. People say the two biggest problems are like communication and money.
And sex.
Okay. 3.
I think it was the top 3.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're not, I think communication on top of everything is just going to be the worst.
100%.
You don't get that under control. Yeah. Because you're always misunderstanding each other. You know, you're like talking past one another. Yeah. You could even be saying the same thing because back in the day when me and Matthew were working on our communication because we're, new, there was a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
He thought I was saying one thing. I thought he was saying another. We were coming at it from different angles, and we literally had to realize
we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing, but we're coming at it from different perspectives. And so we just need to hear each other.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. Actually, like, before we got married, when we were in marriage counseling, they helped us see that because, his brain is, like, very analytical. So he's coming from every angle, like, as an engineer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's straightforward.
Right.
So we kind of had to learn that about each other, and that helped so much.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good to think about. I want to say up front, like, I am very pro-marriage.
Yes.
And I feel like I just have a little bit of resentment toward everybody, like, growing up or even before I was married, who would say marriage is the worst. It's so hard. Yeah. Can't stand my husband. So glad he's gone all day.
Yeah.
Not that my parents would say this, but I mean, like, these are things that you constantly hear.
You still hear it.
You hear it all the time.
From some people,
And so I was like, dang, like, I'm a little bit nervous to get married because of the way that people are making it sound.
Yeah. And
then being married, I'm like, we need to silence these jokers.
yeah, exactly.
Well, because that's not been the experience.
No.
And I'll say, I mean, I know you and I have different stories. I think we would agree that marriage isn't horrible or like horribly hard or whatever.
I love it.
Life is very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But marriage is like pretty great. Yeah. But for me, at least, I don't think you guys had this experience, but like, I hated dating. Dating was the worst. Yeah. Dating was very hard.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess
you got all the hard out in the dating.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
But I think some people can experience that in marriage and then think, oh, our marriage is broken. Yeah. When it's really like, you got to learn how to talk to each other and you got to, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think you
have to have a united front.
Yes. I think what really helped you guys is you did work it out in the dating. Yeah. And so you were ready when you got married. I think what really hurts people is they never work it out in dating. Yeah. And maybe it's because they're just not right for each other. They're not, maybe you were just never going to get there. One way or the other, you didn't get there. You brought it all to marriage. You thought marriage would, I've heard people say.
Literally, it's not a fix.
Yeah, I've heard people say over and over, like, we'll just get married. It'll fix our problems. And you're like, you don't understand marriage then.
Or when people are, like, on the brink of getting divorced and they're like, let me have a kid and let's see if the kid brings us together. It's like, exactly. Well, you'll only have the kid for 18 years.
Yeah. And then what? You're
going to be married for another 40.
Yeah. So, again, it's like, I get that life is difficult and there's a lot of things that come with it, and even adding children to the mix and all that stuff. But it is like you've said before, like, if you're on the same team, it's so much easier. When you're not on, again, the same page, the same team, you're looking at it from two different perspectives, trying to make one. And it's difficult, I bet. Like, I think that's where the hard would come in. Yeah. If you just never agree on the things, or you're always, like, feeling like the other's against you. Yeah. It's like, no, we need to be fighting together instead of fighting each other.
Now, this one is still to be determined. So, you'll have to tell me about it this next year. But people always talk about how hard kids are.
I know, that's another one.
They make kids sound the worst, and I've
always
been
really
like, you guys do not make it appetizing.
No.
Like, I don't want to jump in the water because I see you.
Yeah.
You tell me how hard it is. You tell me they're tyrants, and you're having a rough time. Yeah. And you talk about how parenting is so hard. Yes. No joke. You have no sleep. They're monsters.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that sounds like something I would dread. So if it turns out that it's really a walk in the park, or, not a walk in the park, but like, great. Yeah. Then I'm going to have beef.
Well, that's the thing. Again, you hear different things from different, and I have been thankful to see, like, things on TikTok or, like, hear from people who are not like that, and they go, like, don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of what you make it. I think life is, you know,
Yeah.
like, you can be like, this is the worst and I hate every part of it.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, this is only for a time. Like, we'll only lose sleep for, you know, a time, and we'll, you know, work on this together, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So it's always encouraging when people are like, it's the best thing you can do, you know?
The irony is that people will be like posting stuff like, who, like, for sale, 2 kids, you know, with attitude, like, I'll trade you for a pizza or something.
Oh my god.
Like, literally saying, like, who wants to adopt my kids?
Yeah.
They're monsters. And then they'll be like, parenting is just the best. There's nothing like having a kid. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah,
You
you're
can't
like,
say both.
you're giving me mixed signals.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be another one I would want to do a question box on. Like, what is the hard about?
Yeah.
I know that it is. I'm not saying that it isn't. Like, I know that it's more than, like, for parenting, I feel like there is all that difficulty because especially if you're starting from scratch and, like, it's your first, you're learning as you go, like, everything's new. There's so many factors that come to it. So I'm not saying that it's not. I just, like, want to hear the good side of it, though.
Totally.
You know, like,
No, literally, what
tell
is the
me
good side?
something good.
Because nobody talks about it.
you act like you hate your kids. Like, did
Literally.
you not want to be parents?
Right. Yeah.
You know, blank,
Here's
blank,
what
blank.
I am very much assuming right now, but here is what I guess maybe the hardest part of being a parent is.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the sleep,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's the attitude,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's maybe like the money or anything.
Yeah.
I think it is having to be mature when the other person is like psycho, you know, because they aren't being rational.
The kid.
The kid is not being
Yeah.
rational, and it makes you angry,
Yeah.
but you have to keep presenting a emotionally stable and mature response,
Yeah.
knowing that they don't know any better.
You have to have patience like never before.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very hard on your maturity.
Yeah. True.
And
yeah.
if you just let it get the best of you and you're always snapping and yelling and all this stuff, then one, you're not having a great time, but it's because you don't have this, you know, maybe
Yeah.
maturity bandwidth to be like very, very patient, which
Yeah.
is so hard. Very understanding of where their brains are at.
Yeah.
Very, very hard.
Right.
And like the stamina
Mm-hmm.
to keep guiding and directing instead of like lashing out,
Yeah. And another thing I think.
which could be bogus.
Right.
But
But
that
another
is my
thing I
guess.
think about parenting is, I think it goes back to even the marriage thing. If you don't have both people
Oh,
together
yeah.
working on this
Yeah.
situation,
It's not one person's.
yeah, like you're
duty.
gonna feel like it's the hardest thing in the world, and like you don't have any help, and
Yeah.
and even like someone said to me recently that they just had a kid and they were like, you're gonna want to get mad at each other because you're like, I can't get mad at this baby. But you have to remember again that you're working together, like you're on the same team,
Yeah.
and that you need to fight together, like, you know, it's you
Yeah.
against this baby, really, like
Literally.
and you're not getting mad at the baby, but
I
it's just
told
like,
you
know,
about that TikTok I saw. They were like preparing to go on a long haul flight with our newborn. They're like reminding each other it's us versus the baby. The baby is our enemy.
me.
Anyway, okay. Enough about parenting. Let's
Yeah.
get into the topic of the day and start reading your responses of what you guys say the hardest part of marriage is
Let's do it,
for you.
and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. Let me find where I put my responses. Okay. This one says when your kids don't sleep for years
Oh,
and you're
gosh.
arguing about it.
Years. That's rough.
I mean, that'll put you to the limit.
When you're not getting sleep, first of all, when I'm tired in general,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the worst of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything feels like it is rock bottom. So then, if you're doing it for years,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Like, why? What is that? Why aren't they sleeping for years?
Golly.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I could understand that would be hard. That'd be difficult.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have like a piney scent or candle going? I keep getting whiffs. There's something that smells like a Christmas tree.
No, but it might be my candle in the kitchen. I don't quite know what it is.
Okay. Gotcha.
I got it from like a local place that was selling like
Yeah.
clean ones, you know?
Okay, got you.
So, could
Yep.
be that.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, so that's tough. Okay. All right. Someone said learning completely different family dynamics in and out of just you two.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I think that can be number one hardest thing.
Are they talking about extended family?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
yeah.
so. Like,
Yeah.
outside
And
of
like
you two.
how you guys were both raised, or like
Right.
because how you were raised kind of feeds in to your expectation of how it should be.
Yeah.
Like this is what my mom did, so this is what you should do.
Mm-hmm. And then you're dealing with two different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same at all.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, what does this look like for us?
Yeah.
And if you're coming into unhealthy or dysfunctional ones,
Yeah.
that can be very hard to navigate because you're like, well, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Because I haven't, maybe you haven't dealt with it or they haven't dealt with it.
Definitely.
Whichever one it is.
You have to, like, some people do overcome their amazing, you know,
absolutely.
partners and stuff, but it's a lot to learn when you haven't had it modeled for you.
And again,
your life.
it goes back to if you're not on the same page about it, 10,000 times harder.
Yes.
Because that person is like, I don't understand why you don't get my family or whatever. And it's like,
yeah,
we need to get each other.
Yeah.
So I could see where that would cause a lot of division if you could never get on the same page about that. So
yeah, this one says killing your selfishness, and I feel like that's a very popular one.
Okay.
To say, like, you see how selfish you are.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily something that comes to mind
Yeah.
immediately for me,
Right.
but I do get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there aren't things, I don't know. I feel like my approach or like my mindset when I was going into marriage is that you, like I've said it before, like you're trying to make their life great.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make their dreams come true. And you're trying to serve them, surprise them, treat them.
Yeah.
And like make them happy in so many ways. But it's not like this fairy tale, for me at least, where I'm like, my husband's there to like make all my dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you both have that understanding,
You're
then
both doing that.
yeah, you're not really in this selfishness whirl as much, maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're maybe not chronically disappointing you as much.
Yeah.
Because anything they do for you is like, wow, that's a
Yes.
treat,
Yes. Exactly. And I mean, we've talked about this in other scenarios. We do live in such an entitled and like even selfish world where people do really go into marriage or anything in life, friendship even, with these high expectations of what can you do for me?
Also, I mean, is that April from
No.
Gilmore? Oh, sorry. The TV's on. I thought I saw April from Gilmore Girls.
That's an old movie.
Okay. Like the messaging is so strong with like Disney movies and stuff.
Yeah.
That like Prince Charming is there to make you live happily ever after.
Yes.
So like that is a selfish mentality. So if that's how you've been taught, or like, oh, like I'm dating this guy, he just spoils me.
Yes.
Okay, so like you're getting married because you feel so spoiled and taken care of, but like where's the sacrifice for you? Because it needs to be mutually sacrificial, you know?
Yes. Or I would say not even Disney these days.
Okay.
It's the TikTok world. These TikTokers who are in relationships, like some of them aren't even married,
Okay.
they're doing the most outlandish things for each other, but recording it. So obviously it, like, I'm not saying it's not good intentions, but they're doing it for the show.
Totally.
Like there's this young couple that I follow, and they're like, actually, they're all like connected, and there's like a couple of them, and they're always doing the most outlandish things for each other
to surprise each other.
Yes. And they're all young, and like, I'm like, that's super cute. But if you're going in expecting these outlandish dates constantly,
oh yeah,
like what kind of reality are we gonna live in? Like all these younger people are gonna be like, well, my boyfriend doesn't set up a whole beach picnic for me with an outdoor movie, or like you know, something crazy.
And I saw the most, like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Today, it was like this guy setting up like a Christmas movie for his wife. He like like basically redecorates the whole living room.
Yeah.
And then makes this whole hot chocolate bar, does mood lighting,
So
all
cute.
this stuff.
Yeah.
It was so cute. And it was edited so well, which is when I was like, I kind of want to save this,
Yeah.
you know? But easily you could be like, my husband didn't even make me a bowl of cereal, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying that about Peter because
Right,
he's
yeah.
really very thoughtful. But that's where it's so easy
But
to
your
be like,
expectations could be
but
out
he's
the wazoo.
clearly doing it for content because
Exactly.
like the way he's getting the shots and like
Exactly.
everything. I'm like, this is kind of my inspo for my
Yeah.
day in the life stuff. But
Because of course I want to see that. That's fun to
Yeah.
see. Like it's fun to see people doing outlandish things, and
I like the inspiration to like
you
treat
could
your partner.
even be like,
Yeah.
I want to do that myself. But I don't think people every day are going out and doing those crazy things without recording it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
So it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said, doing it without Jesus. I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think that would probably be harder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's
I
like
don't know.
we love because he first loved us. You know, like
Exactly.
you get kind of this.
We do have an understanding of love that's different.
Yeah, definitely a not what they can give me, but what I can,
Yeah.
how I can lay my life down kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I get
and
that
we
for
also
sure.
believe that like love isn't just this fleeting feeling that comes and goes and like, oh, I can lose it. It's like
Right.
we believe it's a choice. You
Right.
know, like we choose to love anybody,
Yeah.
even if they've been the worst to us.
Mhm.
You know, like even if it's our enemies, we're supposed to
Plus,
love
you
them.
forgive them.
Yeah, exactly. So
Also,
Definitely.
like you have a deeper bond, you know, because
Yeah.
you have something else in common besides just like the movies you like.
yeah, so
You know,
true.
you have,
That's
like,
a
a
good
spiritual
point.
bond, you know?
Absolutely, that's very true.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Going back to the killing your selfishness.
Yeah.
I think it's also kind of like selfishness is one that people bring up all the time, but one that I didn't see is like it exposes your immaturity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like wherever you're being super like immature about something, irrational about something,
Yeah.
you know, like that's where it's going to get on display.
Oh, for sure.
Like I was talking to a friend about it and she was like, yeah, like I think, would I say marriage is so hard? No. But would I say marriage is like walking around with a mirror? Yeah. So if you're not super comfortable with your flaws being pointed out
Yeah.
and fixing them,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's going to be very painful and you're going to hate it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But if you're a little comfortable with this isn't a threat, the fact that I'm not perfect,
right.
I can change, I can grow, I can apologize,
Yes.
you know,
Exactly.
I can understand, I can realize I was wrong. Like if you're comfortable with the mirror,
Yeah.
then you'll be okay.
Yeah. I'll be transparent. I think one of the hardest things I had to learn was humbling myself and apologizing.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to want to just be like stuck in the mud, stubborn, and be like, I'm not admitting I'm wrong, you know? And then, but the cool thing about Matthew is like, he's so good at it, and he just kept doing it. And then it like almost showed me my flaws without him even saying anything.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I need to be better at apologizing. Like if I
Yeah.
do something, you know?
Yeah.
So
No, Peter's so good at apologizing. I'm
just
like, oh, okay, I need to do
I'm
this more.
sorry. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was helpful to see. It is like a mirror in that sense, you know. You just see what the other person's doing and you're like, I want to be better like that. You know. Okay, I got another dying to self, so I'll skip that one.
that's selfishness.
Okay, someone said understanding it's okay to have your own opinion and agree to disagree.
Welcome to the honesty.
Yeah, where it's free to disagree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting one, you know, because I don't know, I haven't been thinking about that one, but yeah, I guess now big things,
Right.
I think that'd be a lot harder to agree to disagree on.
Yeah, I just need to know like how big the
Yeah.
disagreement is.
Exactly.
Because if it's little stuff or if it's like yeah,
I like this music and you don't.
yeah.
I like this movie, you don't. Like easy, yes, totally fine to disagree.
Enough to be like your own person. I like rice, you don't. I think
Yes.
pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
Yes. I think that is actually critical to
Yeah.
a relationship, because if you're always like, oh, I like everything you like, and you never have your own personality,
Right.
that's one, not fun.
No.
Two, you're pretending to be something you're not.
Yeah.
You know? So yes, I think that is something you do need. It shouldn't all be like, I do everything you do and it's amazing and it's great and I will never change my mind.
Yeah.
Because how long will that last? You know?
But if
But
you
big
have some
things.
disagreements about, let's say you're disagreeing about like where y'all should spend Christmas,
Yeah.
and then you're like, this is fine. Marriages, you're supposed to disagree.
Right.
And it's
That's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be something that festers, though.
Yeah.
You're not
Also-
gonna get over it, and that could be like a wedge.
Also, what are you going to do?
That could be
Have
something that you resent your
two different Christmases?
your spouse for. Exactly. And it's like, we never came to an understanding about this, so now I resent them because I never spent Christmas where I wanted to spend Christmas, and now it's years of it.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that one's a tough one. You're going to need to agree on the big things.
Yeah.
Like parenting. How you
But
want to
even
raise
like
your kids.
some things that don't seem that big, like are going to be big.
Yeah.
So
They're eventually going to get bigger and bigger.
definitely like don't be disingenuous with what you do like and don't like.
Yeah.
But when it's like agree versus disagree,
Yeah.
work to understand each other.
Yeah.
Because you might be saying the same thing in two different ways,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. For sure.
Or you might need to get some stuff straightened out.
Right. And I think, again, key is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid.
Yes. Okay, this one says feeling helpless when your spouse is in pain.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. It's a different version of the heart, I think.
Yeah.
But totally.
Mm-hmm. It's a bad feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is something I can't actually take off of them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you're working to like jump in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like that Michelle Obama quote that I said a while back where it was like, usually people aren't at 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're at like one's at 70, one's at 30, and
Yeah.
you're leveling each other out. You
Right.
know?
Totally.
Or you're both getting to 100. I don't know if you want to say 50-50. It might be like 100, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe one of you is at 130 and one of you is at 70.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get you both back to 100.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One might be picking up a little slack because someone's going through it, or
Yeah.
you know,
If you're physically out, that is
Yeah.
hard.
and then I think,
Especially for Matthew. I mean, thinking about how you kind of went through the throes of it
yeah,
in your first months of pregnancy, he's probably like,
absolutely.
I don't know what to do, and I kind of did this to you.
And he was surviving.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
no meals were being made.
No.
He was just surviving.
Yeah, but
over
I'm
here.
saying, I imagine that he felt really bad for you. And
Yeah.
He was just like, he wasn't thinking about you not cooking for him. He was like,
Totally.
I don't know how to get her out of this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pray, but like,
It's just waiting it out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would definitely be hard.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do. You don't know how to help them.
Yeah.
You know, walking that out is
Mm-hmm.
tough for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said compromise.
Yeah.
I think that's for sure key. You know?
You got to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the hardest.
Yeah. I think
But
it could be for some.
Maybe if
you
only
know?
one of you is compromising.
Yeah. And then
It's
you're like,
we always don't get to do what I want to do.
yeah.
Then maybe.
Exactly.
But if it's both of you, then it's like, it's a healthy balance.
Yeah.
You know, we
sure.
went to my favorite things. Now we're going to watch your football game.
Exactly.
You know,
You have to do it.
healthy compromise. But I wouldn't say
Exactly.
compromise. Like, if you're saying compromise is the hardest part of marriage, I'd wonder if you're the only one compromising.
Right. Could be. And that's, you gotta look out for that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy that, especially if one is more willing to give in than the other,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's always gonna be you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that would be potentially hard.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now, I do want to say something that was not mentioned, but
Yeah.
something that I will guess. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Like, this is not every marriage, but I think there are some things that are like red flags, and if they don't get identified, red flags are different for every person.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a gambling problem. Maybe they maybe they have really explosive anger.
Yeah.
Maybe they have an addictive personality.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. They have, I don't know, what else. Maybe they're like so, like introverted or something.
Yeah.
That they emotionally shut down,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So there are some red flags there.
Yeah.
And either you didn't identify them or somebody mentioned them to you and you're like, we're good.
Yeah.
You are still going to have to deal with those things because you're going to be around them constantly.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't necessarily say that that's going to be a hard marriage. Again, it's like those are the red flags you're dealing with. They're not the marriage, but they will be a constant part of your life. So they will become...
We're still good.
Yeah, they will become something hard.
Yeah. No, that is true. And not that we're in like a dating episode right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just so important to realize someone said this recently. I heard it and I was like, that is the truth. And more people need to hear this. Don't marry someone for the potential you think could happen. You need to look at them right now, take them for what they are, and say, do I want to marry that person? Because potential may never come.
No.
Potential is something you made up in your head.
Exactly. And that's what I said on the other episode the other day. It's
exactly.
Like potential is how you would behave in a situation.
Exactly. There's no guarantee that they're going to get there. So you need to make sure you like what you see now.
Yes.
Don't marry because you're like, I think they'll be good in a couple of years.
Right.
You know, like you don't know that.
Right.
That is such a risk. And I get that you like this person, but just remember that's a risk.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I see the red flags, but they'll get better. Yeah. You don't know that.
Might not.
You don't know. It's a risk. So that's just something to keep in mind because I do believe that can absolutely 1000% make marriage harder if you ignore those things and then you get into marriage and you're like, I thought everything was going to be good. I thought the potential was going to happen. I thought these red flags were going to disappear as we got married because it just makes everything better. Instead, it got 10,000 times worse. You're like, that's because that didn't.
Because you got closer to the problem.
Exactly. You got closer to the volcano.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like I'm not going to assume that everybody married like a mature person.
No.
Like you might have a really tough to deal with human being on your hands.
Yeah.
And so I'm not discrediting.
No.
That could happen.
You're
now,
right.
for two, I just don't want to scare people into saying marriage is always bad.
Yeah.
When you're hearing about dysfunctional people all the time. You're hearing about somebody who's super selfish.
Yes.
Or who has never been faced with constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Or does not know how to communicate without turning it into an argument.
Yeah.
And those two people get together. It is explosive. It is really hard. But for two people who are emotionally stable.
Yes.
And want what's best for each other.
Yes.
You're going to be fine.
Yes. And I'll say this one other thing. Some of those things can easily be worked out. What you need to look for is a willingness to learn and change. Yeah. Because not everybody has that. They can be very stuck in their ways. And they're like, no, I'm never going to admit that was a problem or anything like that. If someone is willing to work on that, and you can ask them up front, you know, like, it doesn't have to be marriage when you ask them. Like, you need to start asking now, can we work on this? Can this be something that changes? Because, you know, it's like communication. Like, maybe it's bad now, but you can work on that. But then there's other things where it's like, this isn't going anywhere. This is a repeat offense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, definitely. Okay, this person, I gotta find it, my bad. This person says, married 7 years, 2 kids. Marriage has not been hard, but life is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
heard
what we've been saying, which is good. They've been married for 7 years.
The kids, too. Sometimes I ask people, I'm like, hey, are kids the hard part of marriage? Because that's kind of what it seems like.
Right. That's what I'm gathering. Yeah.
And I'm like, I think marriage is not that hard. I mean, get it. life is hard.
Yes.
You do go through things and you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, money is always money.
Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe it's kids because I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. Yeah.
Maybe kids are the drain. But they're saying
they're
no.
still doing well. So
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do, again, I think it goes back to like communication.
Yeah.
And if you didn't work that out before kids, it's going to be 10,000 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be hard. My last one is parenting.
Well, on that note, kids are the hardest part, guys.
It depends on who you're talking to, I guess, you know.
Yeah. But like, again, like that's parenting. It's not your marriage.
Yeah. It just, I guess.
It's adding on another role.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to like say your marriage isn't bad. Parenting is hard.
Yes, exactly.
But your marriage is fine. You know?
You said like our friend, I'll keep her name out of it.
Yeah.
But who's been married for a long time,
just
has kids.
100 years.
Literally. What did she say?
She said marriage is great. She said marriage is a refuge from hard.
Yeah. And she said like marriage isn't hard, you're hard.
That too.
So like again, it goes back to the root of things. Like we're all imperfect people trying to work on things. The problem is if someone's not willing to work on things.
100%.
You know? I think that's where it really gets hard.
Yes.
If you're not willing to change, you're not willing to see the mirror self, the selfishness, whatever.
You're not willing to hear somebody else's opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you're beyond hope.
Again, here, we're not trying to discount any person who does have this hard time in marriage.
Right.
We've just been trying to figure out what are the key elements of hard.
Yeah.
And can they be avoided? Can they be worked out?
Yeah.
You know? And that's kind of the question here is like, what are the hard things? And maybe it's not your marriage per se. Maybe it's the factors that are in life.
Yeah.
And maybe you could fix those things.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe there are ways that if you just got on the same page, if you worked together, if you were willing to change, but there has to be a willingness there, I think.
Yeah. Because even if money is so tight, y'all are both in pain.
Yeah.
That's still not your marriage's fault. And that's all I want to say is like, quit blaming your marriage, you know, because then you might start to resent each other or something like, and I don't want you to have that in the back of your mind saying like, no, some people are in like a toxic relationship and they're getting abused or whatever. Like, yeah, that's a bad marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, this is not everybody.
Right.
And just because money is really tight or just because you guys don't know how to communicate yet doesn't mean your marriage is bad.
Yes.
And you got to work on it. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
see it for what it is. Like, oh, money is hard. That's my job. That's my life.
Yeah.
That's not what you brought into this.
Yeah.
You know?
I also want to say, if you have a different perspective out there and like you're willing to tell us more, we are so open. Because the problem is we've seen a lot of people say marriage is hard with no what's the word, like
explanation, no examples. And then we ask and then we don't quite get anything that sounds really out of the ordinary.
Get in your business, but we were just like wondering, what do you mean by that? What do people mean by that? Like, tell me the hard. And I get like these are starts.
Yes. And
I think we can kind of figure some things out, but it's like, what is the hard that's really making it so difficult that you say marriage is breaking me or like it's hard to be in marriage or whatever. Yeah. Like that's what I want to know. Yeah. So again, if you have that explanation you're willing to share. Yeah. We're open. We're not trying to be like marriage is the easiest thing and you should get over yourself, but we're understanding. Yeah. We're just trying to wonder and we're having the conversation, which is what the Honestly Close is about. Yeah. Is what is it? Yeah. And how do we change it, avoid it? You know. Exactly. Yeah. I just don't want to be the person going around saying marriage is so hard. Yeah. For all the people who are out there wanting to get married or engaged or whatever, and they're like, I'm kind of nervous that I'm going to start hating them after a while. Like, no, that's an unhealthy view of it. Like, that's somebody who is really working through some stuff, but like, that doesn't have to be your story. No, it doesn't. And you can recognize for what it is that some things in life are hard. Yeah.
Or that dying to yourself is hard. Or that being mature is hard. But call it for what it is, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Just like I hope to not discourage people from having kids one day.
Yeah.
You know, like we hope that
we need more of you in the world.
Work this thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to have the best attitude. I know things are going to be hard and like it can be, there'll be rough times. And
I asked you one time, I was like, why would you want to do that? And you're like, well, my friend makes it look easy. And I was like,
no,
I need more examples like that in my life because people make it look the worst.
No, shout out to Ashley Goss and Matt Goss because they really do look like they're like, of course I see every part of it and like when their kids are sick it's hard and like she's like, I haven't slept and like that's hard.
Yeah.
But for the most part I'm like, you make it look fun. Like you make it look good. Like it's fun that you'll have this like cute little family and like there's always something funny going on and like I don't know, they just make it look easy and they are a great team together. Yeah. And I really think that's the key element. Yeah. If one person is doing something over the other, then
it's like in a marriage, like if one person's doing all the work,
exactly,
then the other, like that same person is not going to be happy.
No, exactly. And that's why it's like you gotta be two becoming one. Yeah. You can't be 2 and 2. Like one does this thing over here and one does. Like, we need each other. Yeah. And that is just so important. And when you have that perspective, I think it can be even a perspective change of like we're not against each other and I don't need to fight for what I want and my rights. Yeah. It's like fight for theirs. Yeah. You know, stop putting that in the way of things. Like fight for each other and fight together. Fight. Fight to the death. Yes. Exactly. We're pro marriage. Yes. Please get married. Like it's so fun. It's a great time. Yeah. Just see things for what they are up front. Try to really like work on your communication, work on serving each other when you're dating. Yes. But I'll say this, like then you won't have such a shell shock. I'll say this 1,000 times over. I think there were other people that could have easily been the person I married and I think it would have been 1,000 times worse. So that's why you always have your choice. I do think you have your choice and you need to make a good one. You need to make an informed decision. You need to make a good one because it does read the answer. It does change your outcome. Choices change your outcome. What'd you say? Just drop it. Yeah. So I've said this in every dating podcast we've had, I think. Yeah. And I will continue to say it. There are better choices than some. Yeah. And if you're trying to fit. But you can pick the worst one. Yes. A square free to pick into a round hole. Yeah. Just let it be the square and go find a round because it's not worth it. Yeah. There's just something, I just think it can be easier. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, this is a struggle from A to Z, and we can't even work out F. just let it go. Yeah. Just let it go. Yeah. Because I promise you. Yeah. You can find something better. Yeah. Exactly. Even if you're like, I have no hope and this was all I thought I could get. Yeah. Been there. Boom. Someone else came. You know, like, just trust me. Marriage can be easier. Yep. Than you think. Word. All right, guys. Well, we have 2 more episodes of The Crown to watch. So bye. So we're going to leave you with that. And always open for more discussion. The Crown is beckoning us at the moment. So popping up on the TV. We must go and figure that out. Yeah. But I think that it is next week is the Valentine's episode. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Leading up to Valentine's. So we're just going to do all things love this month. Yes. All things relationships. Exactly. It's going to be fun. It'll be a real fun time. Yep. All right, guys. Well, we love you, and we'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for listening today. Make sure that you're following us at Honesty Club Podcast on Instagram, or check out our website, thehonestyclub.com, to be a part of future episodes. You can submit an idea for a topic, or write in with a story for us to share. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, leave us a review, or share it with a friend. See you next Thursday.